The D.C. Council could soon reconsider extending an earlier curfew for juveniles to help curb some of the violence. This week, community members will have the opportunity to weigh in on whether or not this measure was effective. Our Christian Flores is in the Navy Yard right now hearing from residents all too familiar with these juvenile takeovers.
Throughout the summer and the earlier parts of the fall, you might have seen these yellow posters all over certain parts of the city. It announced that this area, and we're in Navy Yard, for example, was an expanded juvenile curfew zone. Now, it was an emergency bill that allowed for the establishment of these zones, but that bill expired at the beginning of this month. But this week, there's going to be a discussion about whether or not this was effective and perhaps if this needs to be permanent.
It's a bit intimidating.
These juvenile takeovers devolving into everything from fights to a shooting, all in Navy Yard over the last few months. And the D.C. Council could soon bring back a law to curb the chaos.
We had seen major success with this legislation as a preventative tool.
On Thursday, the Council's Public Safety Committee is holding a roundtable to discuss how effective the expanded curfew zones were. That temporary emergency law allowing Police Chief Pamela Smith to create areas where an earlier curfew starting at 8 p.m. banning anyone under 18 from gathering in groups of 9 or more.
It worked. Is the simplest thing, is it went from, it was like night and day.
The juveniles, they get out of hand in this area a lot. They get out of school early.
Earlier this month, the D.C. Council voted not to extend the emergency bill through December, with those opposed pointing to concerns about not having public comment. The public now having that opportunity on Thursday, starting at 10:30 a.m., with the possibility of a permanent version of the expanded curfew still on the table.
To hear from the public, to hear from the police chief about how this worked and why this is such an important tool.
The juvenile curfew should be extended to be more permanent.
It solves an immediate problem, doesn't solve an underlying problem. So the solution can't just be curfew. The solution, I think, has got to be curfew plus.
Christian Flores, 7 News.